Hello and welcome back to the dumbest modeling channel on all of YouTube, Pitstain Hobbies. I'm your host, Ensign Schwartz, and we're back on the Enterprise from Fanhome. Links below to Fanhome to check it out. Links below to my Amazon store, and my emails below if anybody would like some stickers. That being said, we kind of didn't really finish issue 15 fully the last time because I was waiting on some parts. I've gotten the part. The corrected, shuttle bay door from John Bassey's design, available on Shapeways. I will link it below. It screws down just like a stock part. It does need some light blocking, so we put some Uhu Patafix in there. So now we've got this. We can marry it to the upper saucer. Let me put that aside for a second here. Get the upper saucer. Jesus, Ian, with the throat clearing. There's that one guy that can't stand the throat clearing. Maybe there's more than one and they just don't speak up. Their mama said, if you don't have anything nice to say, shut the hell up. So what we did here, we did a little more rewiring. So we got a JST, we got a bunch of JST leads from Amazon, and we added direct JST leads for each circuit board. And I added a spare just in case, so we don't have to do the hopscotch on the circuit boards. It just makes things easier. And then we tied that into our new impulse engines, which I will show you now. Well, I will show you once I finish fumbling with my, come on, power supply. There we go. I was like, you better turn on. Leave me looking like a fool. Okay. Engage. All right, so you can see all of our lights light up. Plus, we now have, here's a good view of that. Okay, instead of a single LED, we are powering these impulse engines with some 2.7 millimeter cob LED strip from AliExpress. This is red strip, and when you peel off the backing, you can see it's cuttable in like 1-inch lengths, and it's the perfect length for each engine. So one section per impulse engine, and when the ship's in one piece, technically these should not be lit because you have the main impulse engine. However, I did need to resistor these down even more because when I compared it to the stock impulse engines on the next section, these were way, way too bright. These things were so damn bright. So I ended up putting 1,000 ohm resistor on each one, which dimmed them down just to the point where they pretty much are dead even in brightness with the impulse engine on the back of the neck. Another thing that we brainstormed, me and Todd, the famous Todd McWilliams of MyEnterpriseD.com, I was like, I might be short a couple of sockets here because we were adding a couple of things, I think, and I didn't, well, that's what it is. I don't want any of my nav lights to flash. So on the next section, you can kill the flashing by getting rid of that little circuit that's in the wire itself. But here you have this little chip right here that makes these 4 sockets flash. No matter what you plug into them, it'll blink, 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 like Pac-Man on crack. Now we have 2 ways to fix that. One of them is to, here it is, and I had a spare front circuit board. Chop the chip off, okay? Chop off the chip and then just solder those 4 pins together. No more blinking. Everything lights up without any blink. This is the chip that makes them blink. Optionally, since I already had my board mounted with a lot of wires plugged into it, all you really have to do is short those 4 wires together. So I just took a little piece of wire, put some flux on it, pre-tinned it, and bzz, really quick with a soldering iron. Now, I know that is a more advanced electrical thing. However, I call this the dumbest channel for a reason. If I can bodge my way through using, the happiest soldering iron on YouTube. It really is, I think it is the happiest soldering iron on YouTube. Oh, if you're right there, so everyone could look at your cute little grin. Anyone can do it. Where's our Smeat can go now? I don't know, we'll just put it up here, get it out of the way. So yeah, that's the mod for that. So now these 4 outlets right here will not blink, which is exactly what we needed to have, is these circuits just not to blink. Otherwise, I would have had to find 4 more circuits somewhere to like plug in my nav lights so they won't blink. But now that's solved. So now we can put the bridge and the BC deck onto the saucer, okay? And then we can use a flashlight and search the back of this with light for light leaks to then go ahead and fill with our Uhu Patafix stuff, which is also in the Amazon store. And yeah, the 2.7 mil takes a couple weeks to arrive from China from AliExpress. I have not found a U.S. seller for this yet. But actually Todd sent me a piece of his because I didn't need a lot of it. I have a bunch of blue for the nacelles and for the deflector dish, but I didn't have any red. So yeah, he shot me over some red, but it takes a couple weeks to come in. So make sure you order your stuff with that in mind. And we'll be right back with the bridge and the BC deck bolted on, and hopefully most of our light leaks fixed. Be right back. All right, well, it's been a minute. We got issue 15 completed finally. 16 we got done also. That's these. This is a little tricky to get this light in, but I'm going to go over that in a later issue because we got a couple more of them that we got to put in. I'm going to go over that specific technique, but you got to carve away the edge piece. You got to carve out like a triangle in the edge piece. That's really it. You just got to carve a triangle out, and it'll have clearance. And you might want to actually grind on the reflector plate a little bit to clearance because the LED doesn't go in flat like you'd think. It goes in sideways. So it doesn't fit, basically. That's the short answer. And you got to use the black tack, the Uhu Patafix Pro Power black tack putty, basically on every joint down here because you cannot light block easily from the back using foil or electrical tape. So that's the thing. And they started giving you black covers for the escape hatches, so A, they're light blocked, and B, they don't fall the hell out. Why didn't... I know, because there's a lot of escape hatches underneath the light reflectors, and that's supposed to hold them, but it doesn't light... forget it. You know where I'm going here. So that being said, we're gonna... Todd mods the hell out of this thing. But yeah, that's really it. We're just building this. This is stage 63, so that's built. 64, we got to get up this giant thing. Okay, so this is the frames for the nacelle pylons. This is massive. Looks like my hobby blade is getting a little dull, probably because it's the cheapest Chinesium. Got a few little parts in here that we're gonna need to yeah, it's just nice and easy to lose. Let's see what we got. Come out of the bag. Come out of the bag. Oh, for Christ's sake, get out of there. Sometimes the parts comes flying out of the bag, so you lose them, and sometimes they just don't. We got to do a C-section to make that bag give birth. We got this massive piece of die cast. Pretty cool. Let me get the turtle death out of the way. It's fairly rigid. And we're modding our nacelles, so we might have to do some minor surgery to this skeleton here. But that's all we get. We get that, and I think basically we're just going to screw on. They want us to put these little plastic things on the pylon, but they don't get screwed on yet. So I'm not going to put those plastic things on the pylon, but I am going to put the phaser strip on here, and I'm going to, I think, probably mount this. Am I? No. Oh, you son of a... Okay, we'll get this phaser strip mounted, and we'll crack open pack 65, stage 65. I'll be right back. And some more stuff here. So I am going to centrally power my whole ship, which is why I sliced off the things here, and I filled the power switch there, and filled that in with resin, and painted it to match, and we'll just put the battery cover on and just be fine. But what we're going to do is we're going to have white blinking beacons at the top and bottom of the back of the nacelle. I'm going to use blue LED strip light to light the warp grill, and then we're going to, wire up some LEDs to light the Bassard collectors. So to get power to it, I just took one of the other wire leads from, just one of the light harnesses from the kit, and I was able to snake it along the outside here and snake it right in here, and it's not binding or pinching in any way. I did not have to do any grinding or anything like that. And that's how we're going to get, because I need 2 pairs of power. I need 1 pair for the beacons, because they're going to blink in unison. 1 pair for the beacons, and then 1 pair is a positive negative to light up the LED strip and the front LEDs for the nacelle. And this is a fairly thin wire, but the thing is, you have wires this thin anyway, powering like the entire saucer. So you'll have like 1 or 2. You'll have 2 power wires, or 1 or 2, I don't know how many power wires, going in from the battery boxes into the circuit boards. And that nacelle, when turned on, that saucer, when turned on, is going to be pulling over 2 amps of power. Now, I promise you, in no way, there's no way in hell this thing could pull that much power. So 28 gauge wire is going to be just fine. 30 gauge would probably be fine even. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to, now I do have to wait. I've ordered longer leads with solderable male terminals from Amazon. And those should be here in a few days. I'm probably going to get a few more hull panels and windows and, escape pods done and whatnot. That's just boring stuff. This is the exciting stuff. I just have this dry fitted right now. I don't even have the little clicky bits for the spring-loaded plungers. And it looks damn good. It fits pretty tight. It looks nice. A little bit of a panel gap, but serviceable. If this was a regular plastic scale model, you'd obviously, putty and sand because you'd be painting the whole thing. But since it's pre-painted, we really don't want to get into that. So yeah, that's where we're at. That was a big hurdle to figure out how to do that, because I'm following along with the great Todd from myenterprised.com, and he used a much thicker 4-wire ribbon for his, and he had to grind a little bit of metal out to have, comfortable clearance for that wire. But I'm going with like 28 gauge. That's plenty. That's plenty. The little battery box wires coming out, those are only 28 gauge. And, at 2 amps, even with 6 AA's, this saucer is probably only going to run for, I don't know, maybe a half an hour before it starts really dimming down, or maybe an hour, maybe 2. I don't know. Better just buy those like really good Energizer lithium AA's for this thing if you're going to run it on AA's, if you're going to turn it on for any amount of time. But that's the plan. I think it's a pretty good plan. I like that plan. Yeah, I like this plan. And we got one of these hull panels left here, but we're not going to install it on the ship at this stage anyway. It's going to be at least one of these is going to have to go in, and then we'll probably get a couple of these. So I'm calling it, stage 17. I'm pretty much, for lack of a better term, I'm pretty much done here. This build is not going like any of my other partwork builds. This is a wild and crazy modification build, but not wild and crazy. Todd's is wild and crazy. All the electronics and Bluetooth modules and the whole custom app and all the speakers and craziness. And I'm sure if you're fans of this model and you're on the Facebook groups, you already know about it, and you know about the myenterprised.com website. Go there at your own risk. You may end up spending a lot of money. But that being said, either way, check out the model at Fanhome. Even without any of these mods, if you don't mind the lights blinking, and you don't want to, you're not OCD as much as I am, and all you really need is a little bit of black and clear tape and some, black tack putty and little, aluminum foil tape. It's not a big deal. You can light block it out, and it's going to look great, because I'm not really doing any visual modifications to the ship other than, putting a little yellow Sharpie or blue Sharpie on a window here and there. And it's a fantastic model. When it's done, it's going to be one of your, like, pride and joy crown jewels of your collection. It's a bit of a trial to build it, but once you get through it, it's great. So either way, short episode, because I've been just like sitting here and noodling things for a while. We're also going to go over in the next episode sanding the windows using Todd's aluminum jig. And the plans for this are available for free on his website, on My Enterprise D. You can download the CAD drawings, take these to any machine shop, and they can make you one of these. And if you have a friend or family member with a machine shop, then even better, you know, you can get it done maybe for free. And it would be scrap pieces of leftover aluminum at most machine shops to make this thing out of. It's not a lot of material. Either way, thanks for coming. Beam up next time for the next installment of My Enterprise D. Oh boy. But definitely get one. I mean, it's the biggest Enterprise D model on the planet that's like commercially available. Other than there's a couple garage kits out there right now, but they're almost more money than this when you're said and done with painting and building and lights and electronics and all that to make the same thing. And yeah, they're a little bigger, but forget it. You don't want to deal with that mess. So thanks for watching. Come up again. Like, subscribe, and comment. Those really actually help other people like you get recommended videos from this channel where, I'm the dumbest modeling channel on YouTube. But we're trying to be a little fun here. Either way, click the links to Fanhome, click the links to Amazon. I got all my little bits and pieces I buy to make a mess on the desk. Say goodbye to the happiest soldering iron on all of YouTube. Bye-bye. And I'll see you next time. Adios.